Let's talk about something huge. Have you ever wondered how these massive global companies, the ones with offices everywhere, how they keep everything from just completely spiraling into chaos? We're talking financial reporting, cybersecurity, the whole shebang. Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain on their secret weapon, something called internal control frameworks. Hey everyone, welcome to the Audit Guidebook channel. We're the place that loves to break down really complex audit topics and make them simple. This explainer right here is part of our Module 3 series, which is all about getting those key insights on internal audit. And look, whether you're a student just starting your audit journey, a branding auditor, or even a seasoned pro looking for a refresher, you're in the right place. There's something valuable in here for you. So let's get back to that big question. How do they do it? I mean, seriously, think about it. You've got a company with thousands of employees, maybe in dozens of different countries. How do you make sure that the financial reports are accurate, that all the sensitive data is secure, and that everyone is actually pulling in the same direction? It sounds almost impossible, right? Well, the answer, it lies in using a very structured approach. And that's what we're here to talk about, an internal control framework. Now, the best way to think of it is like a blueprint for the entire organization. It's the master plan that ensures everyone is following the same rules and working towards the exact same goals. So, yeah, let's break this down. Okay, here's our game plan for today. First, we'll cover the basics. What even are these control frameworks? Then, we're diving into the two heavyweights you absolutely need to know. Coso, for the whole enterprise, and COBIT, which handles all things tech. We'll see how they work together, and then, the most important part, why this stuff really matters for you as an auditor.
All right, let's jump right into section 1. What are these control frameworks? So, what are we actually talking about here? Well, at its core, a framework is just a set of best practices and guidelines. It's a structured way to help organizations manage their risks and hit their objectives, but to do it in a way that's consistent and, reliable.
Now, in this world, there are two dominant frameworks you're going to hear about all the time, Coso and COBIT. You can think of it like this. Coso is the big picture framework. It covers the entire business, everything from finance to operations. COBIT, on the other hand, is the specialist. It's laser-focused on one very important area, the governance and management of all that information technology. Okay, let's dive into section 2 and talk about that enterprise view. We're starting with the big one, Coso. This is pretty much the global gold standard for internal control. When people talk about a foundational framework for the whole organization, this is what they mean. So, Coso is built on these 5 key components, and they're all interconnected. The house building analogy is honestly the best way to get it. First up, you've got the control environment. That's your foundation. It's the company's culture, its ethics, the tone at the top. And just like a real house, if that foundation is weak, the whole structure is at risk of crumbling. Then, built on top of that, you have risk assessment, control activities, information and communication, and finally, monitoring activities. They're all absolutely essential parts of that well-built structure. But why go through all this trouble? What's the point? Well, Coso helps an organization achieve 3 really critical objectives. First, operations, making sure things are running efficiently and effectively. Second, reporting, so that all their financial and management data is reliable and trustworthy. And third, compliance, making sure they're following all the laws and regulations. It basically covers all the most important bases. Okay, moving on to section 3, we've talked about the big picture business framework with Coso. Now let's zoom in on the engine that drives pretty much every modern business, technology. And to manage that, we have a specialist framework called COBIT. Now, a really key concept you have to grasp with COBIT is this clear separation between governance and management. Think of it this way. Governance is the board's role. Their job is to evaluate, direct, and monitor. They set the high-level direction. Management, on the other hand, is the team that's in the trenches. They're responsible for the day-to-day operations, the planning, building, running, and monitoring of all the IT systems.
So let's break down those 4 management domains you see there because they're really important. Let's use a quick example. Imagine a company wants to launch a new mobile app. The Align, Plan, and Organize, or APO phase, is where they'd figure out if this app even aligns with the company's overall strategy. Then comes Build, Acquire, and Implement, or BAI. That's the actual coding and development of the app. Once it's launched, you're in Deliver Service and Support, or DSS, which is all the ongoing support to keep it running. And finally, monitor, evaluate, and assess, MEA, is where you track the app's performance. Is it actually meeting its goals? You see how it covers the whole life cycle?
And here's something else that COBIT provides that is super handy, especially for auditors. It's a maturity model. It basically lets you rate an IT process on a scale from 0, which means it's pretty much non-existent, all the way up to level 5, which is optimized. That's where the process is constantly being improved. It's an awesome way to benchmark where a company's at and pinpoint areas that need improvement. Okay, section 4. This is where it all comes together. How do Coso and COBIT actually fit with each other? Now, this is really important. You have to understand that they're not competitors. Not at all. They are designed to work together, in partnership.
This table here does a great job of showing their different but totally complementary roles. You can see Coso's focus is on enterprise-wide risk and controls, covering all business processes. That makes it perfect for financial and operational audits. But COBIT? It's laser-focused on IT governance and controls, covering all IT processes. And that's exactly why it's the gold standard for any IT or cybersecurity audit. Look, if you remember only one thing from this section, make it this. Coso is for the enterprise, COBIT is for IT. It's that simple. Coso sets the big picture control strategy, and COBIT gives you the detailed playbook to make sure the technology piece of that strategy is done right.
Yeah, and this quote really sums it up perfectly. Together, they create a complete internal control ecosystem. It's a system where those high-level business controls from Coso and the detailed IT controls from COBIT are perfectly aligned and working together. All right, our final section, section 5. Let's bring this all home and talk about why this actually matters for you as an auditor. This is the practical, how you'll use this in your daily work part.
Okay, so if you're doing financial or operational audits, Coso is going to be your best friend. Seriously, it gives you a consistent benchmark to evaluate controls against. It helps you pinpoint control gaps and weaknesses. It's the foundation for your risk-based audit planning. And maybe most importantly, it's the framework that regulators know and expect you to use. And then on the flip side, if you're in the IT audit world, COBIT is your absolute foundation. It's the playbook of best practices for assessing IT governance. It's critical when you're testing for compliance with major regulations like SOX or GDPR. It's your go-to toolkit for finding IT control weaknesses, and it is the very basis for IT general controls or ITGC audits. So, let's wrap this all up. What's the big picture here? It's actually a pretty simple equation. Strong enterprise controls, which you get from Coso, plus robust IT governance, which you get from COBIT, equals a well-managed, well-protected organization. They're two sides of the same coin, and you absolutely need both. Hey, if you found this breakdown of internal control frameworks helpful, do us a huge favor and hit that like button, and subscribe to the Audit Guidebook channel. We've got a whole series of explainers just like this one on internal audit, and trust me, you're not going to want to miss them.
Thanks so much for watching. Our whole goal here is to help you learn the concepts, apply them in your work, and advance your career. We'll see you in the next explainer.